anywhere in the U.S.
Ed's been talking to his cousins in Germany.
That 3 cents lets me call Western Europe and Canada, too.
Now Monica's using it all the time.
I just dial 10-10-987, then 1, and the number.
10-10-987. Just try it. You'll see what I'm talking about.
What happened here?
Just playing some one-on-one, got a little rough.
Let's get him out.
Oh, I don't want you to do anything yet. I just want to see your price and some of the prices of your competitors.
What? Hey, come on, guys.
I just want to get the best deal. You know?
Our customers know the importance of shopping around, because at Progressive.com you can get our price for car insurance plus the rates of other big-name companies. You could save hundreds. Check out Progressive today.
Let's do some squirrel tagging, boys.
Let's go, man. We try to get out there as early as we can. It's kind of the early bird gets the squirrel theory.
It's not a sport for the weak.
You don't know what a squirrel's gonna do. They can get up to 14 miles per hour, and that's without shoes.
It's the circle of life here. We tag, they run, they tag, we run.
When they're it, and they gotta come tag you, that's when the fun begins.
No matter what you do, you want fuel to do it. Jimmy Dean sandwiches with tasty sausage, egg, and cheese on a home-style biscuit.
These things go tree to tree.
Diamonds, the gift she really wants. The Jewelry Factory has thousands of diamonds, most with GIA or EGL certs, laser inscribed and guaranteed the lowest price. The Jewelry Factory has thousands of mountings, and your diamond is set while you wait. 1-carat solitaires are $5.99. Marquise solitaires are $3.99, and 1-carat studs are $3.99. The Jewelry Factory carries most shapes and sizes, including 5 carats and above. You can't beat our deals. Buy Factory Direct and Save, the Jewelry Factory in Hackensack.
Promotional consideration for Celebrity Justice provided by
V8 Splash Smoothies. A refreshing, fruity blend, packed with the energizing nutrition you need to do what you love to do. V8 Splash Smoothies. Drink smarter.
Specially marked boxes of Kellogg cereal have Kellogg Cash you can use to bid online for Disney collectibles and experiences to share with those you are most attached to. Visit kelloggcash.com for more details.
It's the reason we went for the 3-bedroom house. It's how I first knew Benjamin was coming.
The results of your pregnancy test are too important for anything less than EPT. It's 99% accurate. EPT, so accurate, we call it the error-proof test.
On Passions, a hostage struggles to survive.
Someone's calling my name.
And fights to save her unborn child. The baby is coming.
Tell me and my baby!
Then, on Hot LA Passions, she's moving ahead with her plan to make her ex jealous. This week, he falls for the bait.
Get your hands off her.
Hot LA Passions, weekdays at 2 on NBC Daytime.
Dodge dealers are counting down the final days of the summer sales drive. It's your chance to get no extra charge lube, oil, and filter changes for up to 7 years. Plus, make 0 down payment, 0 payments until 2004, and get 0% APR financing or cash allowances of up to $4,500. All with our 7-year, 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. But get rolling, because the final day's countdown ends September 2nd. See your Dodge dealer for the best values in America.
Ellen practices interviewing at home with Alanis Morissette.
You write, dear narcissist boy, dear egotist boy, dear self-centered boy, dear magnetic boy. You date a lot. I really want to talk about your hair. When's the last time you cut it?
It's been a while. It's due for a little trim.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hey, you want me to cut it?
Yeah.
I'm thinking bangs. All right.
There you go.
Wow. I'll sell that on eBay.
Ellen premieres September 8th at 10 a.m.
It's Tuesday, September 2nd. Breaking news from Iraq, a car bombing in Baghdad. Flash floods, wild weather wallops half of the U.S. And day tripper would-be presidential assassin John Hinckley and his bid for partial freedom. Those stories making news early today.
This is Early Today on NBC. And now, Nanette Hansen.
Good morning, everybody. Several developing stories from Iraq right now. First, another car bomb attack, this one on a police station. Also, word 2 U.S. soldiers have been killed. Let's get right to Baghdad Live with NBC's Richard Engel. What can you tell us, Richard? Good morning.
Good morning, Nanette. First, let me start with the soldiers. There's been an announcement from the military that 2 more soldiers were killed. They were traveling in a convoy in a southern part of Baghdad. They were both soldiers from the 20th Military Police Brigade. They were driving along and hit an explosive device along a major supply route in Baghdad and were killed. The other explosion happened, it appears that a car bomb was driven into an Iraqi police impound lot at a major police academy in the center of Baghdad. That this car bomb then exploded. Witnesses said that it threw several other cars in the area, maybe as many as 10 other cars. It threw them aside, including sending one car onto the roof of another building. So it appears to have been quite a large explosion. Witnesses on the scene said that several Iraqis were injured in that, apparently 2 of them very serious. There are no other words about the number of casualties. However, it is still a developing story. In another development in southern Iraq, or south of Baghdad at the very least, there was the funeral procession, the final day of 3 days of funeral processions for the a Shiite leader there, Ayatollah Muhammad Baqir al-Hakim. He was also killed on Friday in another major car bomb that exploded in front of one of Najaf's most holy Shia Muslim shrines, and as many as 100,000 people, perhaps even more than 100,000 people today, converged on Najaf, many of them flailing themselves to express grief in a traditional Shia mourning ritual. And this is a lot of Shias in the area are very tense. They blame Sunni Muslim extremists and also the United States, which generally has security control over all Iraq, though the U.S. forces in Najaf, out of deference to the religious sites, have tended to stay out of the center of the city. Now there is a controversy and a debate about how wise that move has been. Nanette?
Richard Engel, live in Baghdad this morning. Thank you very much, reporting on the deaths of 2 U.S. soldiers and another explosion on a police station. Thank you. Tropical rains will cover a wide swath of the eastern U.S. today. Heavy rains from Oklahoma to New England. It's the same storm that dumped an amazing 10 inches of rain in 24 hours on Indiana. More rain there overnight. A severe flooding left many without a place to sleep after using boats to be evacuated from their homes. Well, let's find out what the back to school, back to work forecast is. Here's meteorologist Joe Sobel. Good morning, Joe.
Well, thanks, Nanette. Good morning again, everyone. As we go back to work and school in many places, it's the same old thing on our weather maps. A frontal system which has been stalled from Texas on up the eastern seaboard, the avenue for a lot of rain and thunderstorms. And this little disturbance is what's left over from Tropical Storm Grace. And there are flood watches for much of this territory in effect. And there'll also be heavy rain as some tropical moisture comes northward from the Caribbean into Florida. And speaking of tropical weather, this is powerful Hurricane Fabian with winds of 140, 145 miles per hour. If it were to keep moving on its current track, it might be a threat for the southeast coast later this week, but we think it's going to turn and hopefully stay out at sea. Our weather maps in motion continue to show a lot of green, though, from the middle of the country all the way to the eastern seaboard. And that is your national weather. Here's what's happening in your neighborhood.
Good morning. This is News Channel 4 meteorologist Audrey Puente. Today will be cloudy and cool with occasional rain throughout the day. High temperatures will only be in the low 70s. Then for tonight, scattered showers with lows in the 60s.
More rain today from the middle Mississippi Valley, Little Rock in that area, Memphis, right up through the middle Atlantic seaboard. Nanette, that's your AccuWeather. Back to you.
Same old, same old. Thank you very much, Joe. Well, a sick ship with that Norwalk virus docking this morning in New York. Its cruise cut short with the same illness that hit several ships off Florida earlier this year. Nearly 300 people on board are sick with the gastrointestinal illness. 2 members of the CDC's vessel sanitation program will board in an attempt to determine the cause of the outbreak and review the procedures undertaken to deal with the virus. And this one from Asia, this story, a car that makes parking a little bit easier. How about hands-free?
No hands.
That's right. Look, mono hands, if you are not the best parallel parker, this new car could be for you. The next generation of Toyota's electric car, Prius, has a self-park feature that you program with a touch display, and the car does the hard part. This feature only available on Japanese versions, at least for now. What will they think of next? Well, next on Early Today, the slow summer on Wall Street officially over today. What does fall hold for the economy? And from Iraq, how that explosion in Najaf at a mosque could lead to an Iraq run by Iraqis more quickly than expected. And 14 months to go, the marathon on the road to the White House seems to be starting a lot earlier this time.
The car of your dreams is waiting. The Infiniti FX and Motor Trend's 2003 Car of the Year, the G35 and G35 Coupe. Visit Infiniti's limited engagement sales event. But hurry, with special APR financing on select models, the car of your dreams could be gone.
Every day, over half of the electricity used in America's homes comes from coal. And thanks to an abundance of domestically available coal, unlike other things in life, we don't have to worry about running out of it anytime soon.
What if you could push back the clock, count to 3, and lift your face back into the bright, tight look of youth? Well, now you can. It's Lift Tight, the instant lifting serum used by Dr. Louis Fetter to give his patients an instant youth lift. Surgery-free, toxin-free, and painless. Smooth on one drop. Then press out those sags and lines. Relax 1 minute, and it all stays in place. How uplifting! And it holds tight for 8 radiant hours. Lift and press, 2, 3. No tricks, no hidden tape. Lift Tight gives an instant lift that lasts all day or all night. Wrinkles and frowns seem to melt away. Lift and press, 2, 3. Gone are those lines from this to this.
My amazing Lift Serum will take 10 or even 15 years from your looks. I guarantee it.
Are you ready for a lift? Call now for rush delivery.
To order Lift Tight, call 1-800-592-8181. That's 1-800-592-8181.
Okay, there's your Asian markets, Hong Kong and Tokyo, how they traded overnight. Japan, by the way, they closed at a 14-month high. In Europe, those markets are trading as we speak. After the long weekend and a slow summer, it's back to work, folks, on Wall Street today. Joining us to take stock, Bob O'Brien, senior writer for Dow Jones Newswires, and Mike Santoli, senior editor at Barron's Magazine. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Nanette.
Okay, more violence in Iraq overnight. It seems to be a daily occurrence, explosion after explosion, at least 2 more U.S. soldiers dead overnight. When do these events, let me start with you, Bob, in Iraq start to impact what investors here are doing on Wall Street?
Well, Nanette, investors have been so upbeat about the market since the president declared an end to the military action back in the spring. I think it would take a significant event in that area to really change people's mind. And by significant event, unfortunately, I feel like I'm talking about something with multiple U.S. casualties that really, and some sort of a concession from the government that we may not be able to win this.
Mike, pick up on that.
Yeah.
Do you agree with our friend Bob here?
I certainly do, but I also think there's another aspect to it. The market will get concerned as soon as it seems like it's really compromising President Bush's re-election chances. Now, even though the Bush administration thus far has not been really great for the stock market or necessarily for the economy overall, I do think that right now investors have in their mind that Bush is likely to be reelected, and therefore that his tax policies and his stock market friendly fiscal stance is actually something that's probably going to continue. So that's one thing to watch for now.
Bob, let's talk about where these markets are. Let's see. Holiday yesterday, so
Sure.
we have to go back to last week, which had to be the slowest week of the year, perhaps.
It was indeed. And
but overall, August was a good month. And we're 6 straight winning months in a row.
we are, but that stat is a little bit confusing because for all intents and purposes, we're about where we were at the start of June. Yes, each June, July, and August were each narrowly positive, but it's really been a very range-bound sort of market, and it's going to take some more economic activity to try and boost it out of that range and propel it to any higher gains.
Wednesday, Mike, we get the Fed's beige book, correct? What do we expect there?
it looks like it's going to be fairly upbeat. And also today we're going to get the Institute for Supply Management Manufacturing Index. You know, I think I heard a stat where something like 12 out of the last 16 major economic releases have come in at least as good or better than expected. And I think that trend of outperforming, overachieving economic data points is probably going to be necessary from here on out. So those two numbers will be important. Of course, the end of the week, we do get the monthly employment data as well, where finally economists think that we're going to see a little bit of a job gain for August.
Bob, you get the last word this morning. Lucky you. Do you find a more contrarian sort of sentiment out there, or is it mixed?
It's mixed. I mean, there is some contrarianism building up in the number of activity in the options market that's essentially betting the market is going to decline. We also have a big buildup in short interest in individual stocks. But keep in mind, those are essentially bullish for the market because that's liquidity that could be put to use if the market really does start to take off from here.
Yeah, it makes one wonder where people who do have money are keeping it these days, you know, because they're not going to stocks in any great fashion.
No, they're not, which is also another bullish indicator for the market because that's yet another pool of money that could come into this market. Bob
O'Brien, senior writer for Dow Jones Newswires, and Mike Santoli of Barron's, thank you very much. Have a good day. A good Tuesday today. I almost said Monday. It's Tuesday. Next on Early Today, an update on this morning's top stories and those developing stories, including a car bomb attack in Baghdad this morning. We'll be right back.
I have brown hair. I'll be in a black dress. How will I know you?
I'm 5'11" with graying, salt and pepper. With brown hair.
Just for Men hair color rejuvenates hair. It's vitamin enriched. In 5 easy minutes, gray is shampooed away. It brings back a confident, natural look.
You look exactly like I imagined.
So, where do we go from here?
Your PC or mine?
Just for Men, the Rejuvenator.
So where are we on wireless? Comparing high-speed data networks, Sprint covers 35,000 more people than AT&T Wireless. And your point would be? Isn't that 35 million?
Well, that's better coverage. Let's check out Sprint.
Yeah. So I was off by around 34 million people.
You had the right idea.
35 million more people covered than with AT&T Wireless. Get the facts at sprintpcs.com. One Sprint, many solutions.
In the future, everyone's glasses will automatically adjust to changing light and block out harmful UV rays that can damage the eyes. But for those with transitions lenses, the future is already here. Ask your eye care professional, because the danger is real now, and so is the protection. Transitions, right in any light.
We're counting down the final days of the Chrysler Summer Sales Drive. From now until September 2nd, zero in on these special countdown offers. Nothing down, no payments until 2004, no interest financing on select vehicles or cash allowances up to $4,000, and no extra charge oil, lube, and filter changes for up to 7 years. Plus, get our 770 powertrain limited warranty. So zero in on the savings at the Summer Sales Drive Countdown. Hurry to your Chrysler dealer before September 2nd for the best values in America.
Save up to 80% by buying Factory Direct. The Jewelry Factory is a direct diamond importer and manufactures their jewelry direct. The Jewelry Factory has thousands of diamonds and semi-mounts and guarantees the lowest price. The Jewelry Factory's 1-carat platinum bands are $1,400. 1-carat 3-stone rings are $899. 3/4 carat bracelets are $149. 3-stone pendants are $99, and 1-carat studs are $399. You can't beat our deals. Buy Factory Direct and save. The Jewelry Factory in Hackensack.
Your business.
Recapping our top stories today, heavy rains across the eastern half of the U.S. today. Indiana took the brunt of the same storm system this weekend. Listen to this, 10 inches of rain fell on Indianapolis in a 24-hour period. After last week's talks, North Korea says it is committed to resolving the dispute over its own nuclear program peacefully through dialogue with the U.S. And a huge car bomb exploding this morning in Baghdad at a police station. It follows Friday's explosion at a mosque in Najaf. This as 2 U.S. servicemen were killed overnight when their Humvee hit a landmine. Well, Senator John Kerry of Massachusetts will formally announce his candidacy for the Democratic presidential nomination today, trailing in all the polls, even in next-door New Hampshire. He is one of the many hopefuls hoping to find a way to cut into President Bush's popularity and incumbent strength, a task none of the large field has been able to accomplish. NBC's David Gregory with the Labor Day battle 14 months before Election Day.
Labor Day politics is all about the economy, and the president, on a swing through rain-soaked Ohio, trying to put the best face on what could be a huge political liability: job losses on his watch.
I believe there are better days ahead for people who are working and looking for work.
Before a union audience, Mr. Bush defended his administration's tax cuts as the best medicine for a persistently high unemployment rate. The economy, he admitted, is still, quote, bumping along. Mr. Bush argued Democrats are wrong to oppose lower taxes.
It was a shallow recession. It was a shallow recession because of the tax relief.
But Democrats vying for the White House aren't buying it. MSNBC campaign reporters followed Senator Kerry and Congressman Gephardt in New Hampshire. Some of the other candidates barnstormed through Iowa: Dean, Kucinich, Graham, and Senator Edwards, who is among those calling for a rehaul or complete repeal of the Bush tax cuts.
It is not enough to protect the jobs that we have. We have to replace the jobs that George Bush has cost America.
But as a crowded field of Democrats sharpens its attacks against the president, the candidates are fighting anonymity with the public. A new poll shows 2/3 of Americans surveyed can't name even one candidate for the White House. But Democratic strategists counter Bill Clinton was hardly a household name at this stage of the game back in 1991. And they argue between setbacks in Iraq and economic troubles, this president is not invincible.
That has brought us back to pre-9/11, and that means a divided nation, and this is a 50-50 race going into 2004.
David Gregory, NBC News, the White House.
Just ahead on Early Today, a bid for more freedom. He tried to kill President Reagan. Why John Hinckley now may get to leave his hospital. And why the best medicine for an ear infection may come as a surprise.
It's new. It's a new choice. It's new Levitra, and it's here now. Ask your doctor about the new choice. New Levitra.
I want to thank you guys for coming out. Oh, Jamie, why don't you tell us what's new in IT? Try to keep it short.
Oh, well, we just implemented DFS and a new SAN. And also we enabled shadow copy for shared folders on our file servers. It enables users to get back lost documents on their own without calling IT. And it'll save us hundreds of thousands of dollars, which...
It'll do what?
With new Windows Server 2003, you can do more with less.
Automated system recovery.
Every day you challenge the status quo. Looking further. Breaking new ground. You demand more. And Deutsche Bank, as a leading financial institution, shares your passion. Aiming higher, pushing harder. That's why the world's most demanding clients trust Deutsche Bank to perform. Deutsche Bank, a passion to perform.
This is the rarest U.S. $20 gold piece and the single most valuable coin ever struck. Our Treasury Department estimates its worth at up to $8 million. When President Roosevelt ordered the destruction of gold coins in 1933, one single coin escaped meltdown. Then it was stolen, bought, hidden, and finally seized by the Treasury Department and sealed in a vault at Fort Knox. Now, it has become the single most valuable coin ever struck when it was auctioned in New York City on July 30th, 2002. To mark this historic event, National Collectors Mint has released its 1933 Double Eagle Proof. It's the rarest U.S. government $20 gold piece as a 10 mil pure gold proof. And it can be yours for just $19.95 while supplies last. Strict limit of 5 proofs per caller. Call now.
To order your 1933 Gold Double Eagle Proof, call 1-800-754-1919. That's 1-800-754-1919.
It's new. It's a new choice. It's new Levitra, and it's here now. Ask your doctor about the new choice. New Levitra.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Dr. Joe Sobel. More green on our weather maps from the Mississippi Valley to the Middle Atlantic and Northeast part of the country. Chicago, some rain this morning. New York City, rain at times today. Orlando and Miami, afternoon thunderstorms.
Back to Iraq now. The latest explosion in Baghdad this morning comes on the day of a huge and emotional show of grief for the religious leader killed in an attack last week, and growing concerns about rising ethnic and religious tensions. NBC's Richard Engel filed this report earlier.
More than 100,000 mourners came, this time to the holy Shia city of Karbala. Men pounding their chests, women beating their heads to express grief for the late Ayatollah Mohammed Bakr al-Hakim, blown apart Friday by a car bomb that killed more than 100 others. Shias blame Sunni Muslim extremists and Saddam Hussein loyalists and have vowed revenge. Shia Muslim vigilantes raided Sunni Muslim houses in Najaf today. Tensions between the two religious communities are rising.
This bridge spans the most holy Shia and Sunni neighborhoods in the city, and in a new, potentially ominous development since Friday's attack, Shia Muslim drivers, as they've been crossing over, have been hurling down insults into the Sunni part of the city. Sunni Muslims have been doing the same.
Religious infighting Saddam Hussein claims he doesn't want to be part of. An audio cassette released today, supposedly from Saddam, denies any responsibility for al-Hakim's murder, even though Saddam's regime tortured al-Hakim and killed tens of thousands of Shias. American authorities are trying to strike a balance between Shias and Sunnis as well, giving Shias today a majority of Iraq's ministries in the interim government.
It represents a significant new step in Iraqis taking control of the process of government and of the institutions of government.
But many Iraqis are skeptical.
It is a puppet regime. Most of the people looking at the Deputy Council as a puppet.
U.S. forces today were diffusing more than just Iraqi politics. Soldiers in Tikrit scoured through miles of Iraqi bunkers filled with ammunition, taking out of circulation the kind of weapons that have been used to fuel terrorist bombs. Richard Engel, NBC News, Baghdad.
In Washington today, a federal judge will be asked to approve unsupervised visits away from the hospital for John Hinckley, the man who shot President Reagan 22 years ago. His parents want permission to take him out for short trips on their own. Hinckley's parents say the visits would help in their son's treatment. Hinckley's doctors at the hospital, where he's been a patient since 1981, say he has sufficiently recovered from his illness and would be no danger to himself or others if released for short trips. The Reagan family opposes the visits. South Dakota Congressman Bill Janklow in court today, charged with second-degree manslaughter after the white Cadillac he was driving allegedly sped through a stop sign and hit and killed a motorcyclist. If convicted of the most serious charge, the former four-term governor could face up to 10 years in prison. Emotions have an impact on your immunity. It's a one-way relationship. Feeling bad mentally can leave you vulnerable to physical illness as well, but the research from the University of Wisconsin shows a good attitude won't prevent you from illness. And children's doctors are prescribing antibiotics less frequently. Pediatricians reporting more ear infections in kids resolve themselves without the drugs. This is some researchers fear the use of more and more antibiotics will create super germ strains that are immune to the drugs. The study appears in the journal Pediatrics. Pretty interesting stuff there. I'm Nanette Hansen, and this is Early Today on NBC.
Send your comments or questions to earlytoday@nbc.com.
You are watching Early Today, the first word in business and breaking news from around the world. Early Today, your wake-up call to the new global economy.
Today's wedding. Before Seneca and Chris say I do, one small detail, the honeymoon. Vote for your favorite destination by today at noon. Presented by Club Wed at Target.
I'd like to start getting home delivery of the New York Times.
Now you can get the New York Times delivered to your home for 50% off the regular price for 8 full weeks.
The New York Times brings the world into our house every day. It's not
just that they cover the news so well. It's the way they surround a story, giving me so many different ways to understand what's going on.
Call 1-800-357-4812 today to start getting the New York Times delivered to your home. You'll receive the Times every single day for just $4.65 a week.
I need to understand what's affecting our investments.
And what's happening on the web.
Or if you prefer, subscribe to the Times on weekends for just $2.40 a week. That's 50% off the regular price of home delivery.
The world's moving pretty fast out there.
This definitely helps.
Get the New York Times delivered every day for just $4.65 a week, or Saturday and Sunday for just $2.40 a week. That's 50% off. Call today.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Time to get back up and at it as you check out the Gowanus. It's wet outside as we welcome you to Today in New York. Good morning, everyone. I'm Maurice Dubois.
And I'm Darlene Rodriguez. In the news this morning, an unforgettable cruise for all the wrong reasons. A notorious virus afflicts passengers on a luxury liner, forcing the ship back to New York a little early. We're there live as the ship gets ready to pull into port.
And big changes for ferry passengers today. New service over the East River, a fare increase over the Hudson.
And murder at a popular parade. The gunman still at large after a bystander is shot watching the West Indian Day parade. We'll have the latest.
Let's check out your weather picture. Good morning, Audrey. In for Chris. How you doing?
Good morning to both of you. Doing well, but it's still wet outside. It's going to be a cool and damp start to the work week. Wet weather's now moving through the area. Some heavy rain up towards the north. I'll have all the details on what you can expect coming up.
All right, Audrey, thanks. Also coming up, why the going is about to get tougher for teen drivers in New York.
Maternity made easier, some fashion help for moms-to-be who want to step out in style.
And a look at how the other half lives. We have an inside peek at some of the most exclusive real estate in New York City. It's a Tuesday morning on Today in New York.